This video is going to cover section 7.5, which has no lecture. We're only going to work on the homework. We're going to be graphing inequalities. And so some things to know right away is that anytime you see the symbol less than or greater than, you will you will trace a dash line or dotted line. And whenever you have the equal part there, then you will be tracing a solid line. Also, things to know is that if you are talking about less than, whether it's less than or less than an equal, you will color below. And if you are talking about greater than or greater than an equal, you will color above. Yeah, are we clear on that? So the first one here is an inequality, which we're going to convert to the form y equals mx plus b. So we're going to treat it like if there was an equation. So we have 5y is equal, or let's just say greater than or equal. You guys see the positive x here, so we take it to the other side, it will become negative x. And then we have plus 10. Then we need to divide by 5. So if this will be negative x divided by 5, and then plus 10 divided by 5, so this will turn into negative 1/5 of x plus 2. Now, we're going to use the y-intercept to graph it. So you're going to go to your graphic section. Oops, can't see anything here. So we're going to select the line, and are we going to have a dash line or solid? Solid. So we select solid line here. I'm going to get rid of all this work. And then we go back here. Okay, sorry. I'm going to have to do that. Is it time for a break over there? Yeah. Okay, so solid. And then we're going to use the y-intercept. You can see that the y-intercept is actually the number that we have here, which is 2. So we plot the point at 0, 2. And then by using the slope, so that tells me 1 down and then 5 to the right. So we'll be there. And then we need to color. Are we going to color above or below? Above. So then you select the little bucket of paint and we color above. And that's it. And I got it right. Okay, so you guys will go to a break. I'll pause the video, and then when we come back, we'll continue doing it. Okay? So problem number 2, it is the same thing. Well, that's 3 actually. My problem number 2, I have that inequality. So what I would do is just take the, you could do several things, but if you leave the negative y there, and then you say negative 6x plus 12, and then you know the coefficient here of the y is negative 1. So if you, anytime you multiply or divide by a negative number, you have to reverse the inequality symbol. So it will be that divided by negative 1, and it will be plus 12 divided by negative 1. Again, I reverse the inequality symbol because I divided by negative numbers. This turns into y is less than positive 6x minus 12. And this is going to be a dash line. So in my case, I'm going to get 2 points, so make sure you have a dash line. One of the points will be the y-intercept.
Negative 12.
Negative 12. And the other point, using the slope, we can go 6 units up and 1 to the right. And then are we going to color above or below? Less than, so below. So you need to select the piece, and that's below. Okay. The next one, what will be the y-intercept? We don't have a constant. The constant is 0. So that means the y-intercept is at the origin. 0, 0. And the slope is 1 over 3, which is 1 up, 3 to the right. So you could start by graphing that. 2 points. Do we need solid or dash line? Solid, because we have that equal part. Solid. Origin, that's the y-intercept. And then using the slope, 1 up, 3 to the right. I'm going to color above or below. It's less than, so that means below. Okay. Right, now we have a circle here. And let's see, the center of the circle is at the origin at 0, 0. And the radius is the square root of 49, which is 7. So you can see any of those answers matches, but we're going to eliminate 2 right away because should we have a solid or a dash line? Dash, right? So we're going to eliminate A. Well, in my case, I don't know if your answers are the same. So look at that. And then here we're saying that the circle, the area of the circle is greater than that of that circle with that radius. So do we want bigger circles or smaller circles?
Bigger circle.
So this is greater than. So it's like if we say, I'm going to shade above, instead of saying above, you will say outside the circle. If the inequality symbol was less than, then you want smaller circles. I hope I get it right. Yeah, before you guys think my math upside down.
This
Yeah.
one is.
That's what you guys think.
They're all easy.
Okay.
And then they get hard
Let's go.
by
What?
15.
Was it wrong or what?
No, it's just slow.
Okay.
This is the problems we have.
Oh, you poor children. Okay, now the next one, we have a circle again. What is the center of that circle? Remember, it's counterintuitive, like corresponds to shifting. So if you see a -4 here, you have +4. If you see a +1, you have -1. So that's the center. If you notice, all of them have the same center, right? But and the radius will be the square root of 25, which is 5. So solid or dash? In my case, will be dash. And I want less than, so I want what's inside the circle. Less than will be below, so think about circles that are below that size, smaller circles. In my case, is B. Okay, I'm going to give you guys a few minutes to catch up. Yeah? So on 7.5, and then I'll continue instructing there. Are you guys with the systems or not yet? Okay, let's just keep going. This is taking too long. I don't like that. Oh. Okay, so are you guys by the exponential one? So this one is very interesting to graph. You already know that if it was an equation, it would look like if we had that, the base will be 2, and it will be an exponential growth, right? And also, will this be solid or dash?
Dash.
Dash. And then will it color above or below?
Above.
Above. This is greater than. So the way you're going to graph this one is, I'm going to use my mouse actually for that. So you need to click on the graph, and then you're going to select the shape of the exponential, which is this one. And then we want a dash line, correct? Okay. And then we're going to click on it again. And it's going to give us the shifting stuff. We don't have any shifting. It's just a parent function, but we need to change the base for our 2. And then after that, we already say we're going to color above. So imagine above this horizontal asymptote. And that's it.
Oh, God.
The next one is a logarithmic. So go ahead and find yours, your logarithmic. Okay, so what is the base of my logarithmic? 2. So we're going to go here, click on the graph, select logarithmic. So this is the shape. Everyone look at the board, please. Here. And then for this one, we have to graph the asymptote. Well, first of all, is it solid or dash? It's going to be solid. Okay. So let's do that. And here mine has a horizontal shift of 6 units to the right. And then I also need to change the base. My base is 2. And then we also, before you color, this is very important. Everyone look at the board. Before we color, we need to draw the asymptote. The asymptote is going to be a vertical line, which is dash, and it's going to be at x equals 6. So we just need 2 points right there. Oh, no, it's wrong. Is that going to delete everything? Oh, no. Good. So you go back, line, dash, because there's a vertical asymptote, and it's right here, at x equals 6. Then after you have the asymptote, then we can ask ourselves a question. Are we going to color above or below, according to this?
Above.
Above. So we grab this, and we need to be on this area, not on the left side of the asymptote, because we don't even care about that. We just care about the right side. And that will be the answer.
Yay.
Oh, nice.
Too easy, too easy. Easy, bro. That's it.
Okay, so I'm going to pause for like 5 minutes so you can catch up. For question number 8, we have a system, meaning we have more than one inequality. And so we're going to graph one at a time, and then the area that we are going to color is where they both intersect. So we can do the following. First, I'm going to take one of them and solve for y, like we've been doing. So this first one, 2x plus 4y is less than or equal to 4. So to solve for y, first we move the 2x to the right or subtract 2x. And then we need to divide by positive 4, so there's no need to move to reverse the inequality symbol. So this will be y less than negative 1/2 of x, that's the slope. And then we have plus 1. So our y-intercept for this one is going to be 0, 1. And then our slope is negative 1/2, so that means 1 down, 2 to the right. And what else do we know? We're going to have a solid line. And we're also going to color where? Above or below? It's less than, so that it's below. Okay, but don't graph it. Now let's solve for y on the second one. So that's going to be 2x plus y is less than or equal to 4. So y is less than or equal to, we take this positive 2x to the right side, that's negative 2x, plus 4. So the y-intercept is going to be at 0, 4. And the slope is negative 2 over 1. So that means 2 down, 1 to the right. Okay, so I'm going to graph them. And this is what I'm going to do, okay? I'm going to see if it works. Skyla was trying to teach me how to do it. So we take the first inequality. So from here, the y-intercept is at 1. And we have a solid line for both. So that's good. So at 0, 1. And then the solid and the other point, we go 1 unit down to the right. And then we're going to color below, right? Below. There we go. Now we move on to the next inequality. And that is going to be, the y-intercept is here at 4. 0, 4. And then the slope tells me 2 down from here. 2 down, 1 to the right. So 2 down, 1 to the right. And then for that one, it tells us to color below as well, right? And actually, if we were to color below this line, it will be all this area here. However, we only want the intersection, so it's already there for us.
Yeah, I got it right. Look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
Okay, I didn't. So I'm going to do it the other way. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I'm just going to clear. Let's just clear everything. Why is it doing that? No. Okay, so skip. I'm on my final check. No. Okay, I'm just going to color it like I know. So, again, go back here. First one, y-intercept. 1 down to the right. And then the other one. What was the y-intercept again? What was it?
I think you do.
2? For this one. What was the y-intercept for this one?
It was 0, 4.
Oh, yeah, true. 0, 4. So 4, and then the slope is going to be negative 2. So 2 down, 1 to the right. Okay. So let's see. For the line that you guys see that looks blue, right? We know that we were going to color below, right? So if I color below, it'll look like that. And then if I color also below for the yellow line, that will be here. Right? So I know it's not very clear, but the only area where they're intersecting the colors. So that when I color with the tool, it will be. Oh. And that's fantastic. Now, if you still have trouble visualizing where the both are going to intersect, the both color regions, you could graph it on Desmos and see it there. Or use a calculator to check your work. Okay, so I'm going to move on to the next one. Now, what do we have here is we have a vertical and a horizontal line, so this is pretty interesting. And it's actually very simple to graph. So in this case, we're going to have a vertical solid line. And since we say less than, instead of saying we're going to color below, the numbers that are less than 6 are going to be on the left side. That's where we're going to color. And for the other one, this is going to be a horizontal, also solid because we have that equal part. And we're going to color, it says greater than, so we're going to color above the horizontal. So let's graph it. So I'm going to grab first my, and they're solid. So at 6, make sure you graph the right number. And then we're going to have another one at, a horizontal one at -6. Here we go. And we're saying on the left side of the vertical, so it will be all of this. And we want above the horizontal. So the area I want to color is this. Left side of the vertical and above the horizontal for mine. Yours might be different. Okay, guys, so let's move on to the next one, question 11. So right here we have vertical line, horizontal line. So in my case, they're both solid. They're all solid. Good. So for my vertical line is at -6. And for my horizontal is at +3. I don't know where yours is. And so let's think about the coloring part here. So here we want greater than x. So that would be on the right side of the vertical line. And here we have y less than 3, so that will be below. So we're talking about the right side of the vertical line. That would be here, right? And then we're talking about below the horizontal. So far, we know that the area with color is going to be in here, right? Somewhere here. So now let's graph the third one. And the third one happens to be a slanted line. So it's going to be y is less than. Take the +2x across, so it's -2x, and then +8. So I'm going to graph that one. Y-intercept is +8. So the point 0, 8. And then the slope is a -2, so that means 2 down, 1 to the right from the y-intercept. And for this one here, we're going to color above or below? Below. Okay, so let's see if I can do that. Solid line again, so the y-intercept is at 8. And then we go 2 down, 1 to the right. So can you guys see it's the area we need to color. It's not going to be here, obviously, because this will be above the line, the slanted one. We want below. So not here or here. It's going to be here. So I'm going to select the paint bucket. There we go. And that is correct. Do you guys have any questions so far? For question number 12, our instructions say, write the following sentences as a system of inequalities in 2 variables, and then graph it. So this is a 2-part. So the first equation comes from the statement, the sum of the x variable and the y variable is at most 4. So we know obviously it's x plus y, right? But we're saying that it will be at most 4. So think about it. What will be the biggest number it could be? 4. So then it's going to be anything
Less
equal to 4 or less than 4. Very good.
So
So here we can cross out
G and B.
A and, well, in my case,
Yeah.
that. Okay, now for my second statement, we say that the y variable, so y added to the product, in my case 3 times x, so we'll have 3x plus y, does not exceed 6. So what's the biggest number again? 6. So it's going to be 6 or anything smaller than 6. So the correct answer is B, in my case. And don't forget you need to graph it. I'm not going to graph mine. But to graph them, you have to convert them to y-intercept forms. This will be y is less than or equal to negative x plus 4. And the other one will be y is less than or equal to negative 3x plus 6. I guess I can graph one while you graph yours.
We have the same markers.
Are you serious?
I mean, me.
Well, like sometimes,
Yeah.
right? Who has gotten all the same questions?
I'm just gonna copy them.
They're both solid, right? Okay. So positive 6, negative 3 for the slope, so 3 down, 1 to the right. And both of them we're coloring below. So below the yellow line will be all this area. But we also want it to be below the blue line in my case, so I'm going to select here. Yes.
Yeah, this is right. Oh.
For question 13, we are given a graph, and we have a statement here, and then we have to answer a question. So the figure shows the healthy weight region for various heights for people ages 35 and older. So I barely make it across this. Barely. So if X represents height, so this graph doesn't apply to you, ladies, okay? X represents height in inches, and Y represents weight in pounds. The healthy weight region can be modeled by the system of linear inequalities below. So something that is not considered unhealthy, that is considered unhealthy weight, will be something that is above or below, right? Like something that is not in the region. So that's what they're telling us. So we have the area here, I mean the graph here. And you can see the independent variable is the height here in inches. From here. Okay. So for my weight, for my height, a healthy weight will be like anywhere between like above 120 and then maybe perhaps 155. So I've been below and above, and I can tell you that if I go below, people start telling me that I look sick. Yeah, they tell me that because of my face. And then if I go above, of course, they don't need to tell me anything, but I can feel it on my clothes. So right now I'm okay. I'm in the middle. So the question is what? Substitute the x and y coordinates of point A. Where's point A? Do you guys see it? Oh, it's from there. We have a point here. So in my case, I have 63, 130. And the first inequality. Okay, so the first inequality we have here. So if we substitute 5.2 times 63 minus the y value is 130. So they want us to find the number that will go on the left side. So can someone multiply, please? Someone with a calculator? Come on, pretty much doing the homework for you. Thank you, Andrew. 5.2 times 63. $300 what? 27.6. And then minus 130. 197.6. And is this a true statement? Is it true?
Yes.
Yes, right? Because 197.6 is greater than 180. So that's the number you need there. Type an integer, that's what it says here. Well, integer or a decimal, so I guess 1.97. 197.6 will work. Don't go home and ask your mom this question. She might be upset, okay? Or well, I hope your girlfriends are not that old. Yeah. Don't ask women about their weight. They don't like it. Oh, I didn't have it. I'm gonna get it wrong.
Yes. 69.
Oh, so 14 is very similar. I'll give you guys time to answer that. Okay, guys, the next one, you have to come up with an inequality that matches the problem, the statement. So we have an elevator with a capacity of 3,000 pounds, right? So the weight combined cannot exceed 3,000 pounds. So what is the smallest going to be? 3,000. I'm sorry, equal or less than 3,000. So here, we're going to consider X the number of children. And Y is going to be the number of adults. So we don't know how many children, but what we know is that the weight is 40 pounds average. 40x plus the average weight of adults, 100 pounds. And so then we're going to graph that. So this will be y, 100y is less than negative 40x plus 3,000. And then we need to divide by 100. So this will be 0.4x plus 3,000 divided by 100 will be 30. And that's how you create your equation. And then, of course, you have to graph it. Lastly, you guys can graph them, right? Yes? By using the y-intercept and the slope. Or you could substitute 2x values there to find the y value. Okay, now this one here, guys, let's just take care of this one quickly, and then I let you go. So we have write a system of inequalities, and we have several, how many do we have in total? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 inequalities. So let's see what can you eliminate. So one night should be spent at a large resort. So you're talking about 5 nights at a hotel. They average 200 per night, and the small inns 100 per night. Your budget permits no more than 700 per lodging. Okay. So X will be the number of nights. Bless you. At a large resort. And Y will be the one at the small one. So one of the equations is going to be like if you were to add them, the price for those, so 200x plus 100y cannot exceed 700. So that has to be equal or less than that. So right away, that tells you that you can eliminate, this one. So you can eliminate 2 of those. Oh, actually, you can eliminate.
Yeah.
So minus, I don't know about you.
Easy.
but I'm feeling sorry.
Well done. Okay, so that's the end of the video. I'll see you Friday.